The human spirit was designed to endure and overcome. It has so much power, such that when it has overcome, it can hold memory of its experiences and yet be fully present to enjoy the current joys and victories that life presents to it. I believe that if we know more about each other, we can learn more and be gracious to each other. The concepts that you hold about life are not necessarily true. They're limited to your exposure. The day you get comprehension of this, you'll be more kind, patient, and deal with people more graciously. I welcome you to a place of grace, the Knowledge Hub edition. Hello everybody, welcome to the Knowledge Hub. You know, all of us grew up with so many dreams and we want to be entrepreneurs, we want to be doctors. Well, today I decided I should invite my own brother because, you know, as we're growing, we can tend to see successes of people that are so far away and we ignore people that are within our vicinity. So I invited the firstborn to my mother, that is my brother, Tshifhiwa. Welcome.
Hi, Mavhungu.
You must take my show serious because I've got a feeling you're going to speak to me as a younger sister.
No, I'm serious. Never mind my English. It's not so great, but I'm fine.
No, it's okay. I know you went to a Bundu school while some of us went to multiracial schools. So it's okay. We make provision for the mother tongue.
No, thank you for inviting me.
Okay. Well, you know, when we are growing up, people aspire to be entrepreneurs. Like, it's spoken as though it's something that can be easily attained by any person who maybe was short of a dream. Can you please take us through, maybe let's start by your background, because people can think that maybe you grew up too fortunate, or maybe just so that they have a clue as to what kind of a family background you come from.
Thanks for asking me that question. I don't think I'm coming from a very much privileged family, but I'm coming from a privileged family, kind of. What really influenced my decision, I think, entrepreneurial from my position, it's something that comes organically, because I was never fortunate enough to get any guidance, either from my parents or from neighbors, or even from any family members for that sake. But I remember at some point, as I was growing up, I always have this thing of seeing myself making money. I didn't know how. Yes, that was the issue. But I know that the late Mr. Sirakalala, who used to be my teacher when I was at high school, used to tell me and try to encourage me to say, you're going to go far. I think you must take a route of business rather than any other thing, because what I see from you, it's someone who's always during school holidays, you want to buy stuff, you want to sell. At school, you're buying sweets, you want to sell. I think you're going to go far. I even told your father. He used to say that he used to tell my father. But my father never believed in me anyway. But,
no, but because...
It's nothing personal.
No, wait. Let's correct that. I was there. You were a naughty child. I think we must explain that.
It could not be that fact that I was a naughty child. I think if I paid much closer attention, you probably have tried much better than he did. I think so. He
did. In fact, he went an extra mile. You were a hard-paced job. He went an extra mile. But I want to know, did you have personally, did you always start off saying, I'm going to do business, or there were other alternatives that you wanted to explore?
No, from seeing from my grandparents, I always actually saw them as role models, even though their businesses were not really formalized. But yes, I knew that at the end of I'm going to be a businessman.
Okay, you went to a public school in Venda Ngweni. Did you feel that now, and when you're looking at it, do you feel that being taken into maybe a less privileged school disadvantages you in certain aspects as you are now competing with other people, or you find that it doesn't matter?
It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because I always believe that it doesn't matter how you start. What we judge you based on what you finally accomplished. And yes, going to a less privileged school, maybe, or disadvantaged school, then it was not into my mind because of I didn't even know myself then. I didn't even know really much about myself. Whether if ever I was going to be a different person if I went to a private school or not, I didn't know. I can't say much.
When you when you matriculated, what did you study and what happened with it?
Honestly speaking, I didn't like school.
It was a waste of
I
time.
didn't like school. But I did went to, I remember it was Pretoria West Technical College of Engineering. I did mechanical engineering, specializing the boiler making side. And then I went to, when I was supposed to completed my studies, I then decided to deviate and go to the practical side of it, which was ISCOR. It used to be ISCOR then. I did my practical there, and then I was supposed to come back because they used to take those practicals as some sort of in-service training.
Yes.
Then you can go back and come and do your theory and complete your studies. And then I went to do that, and I only worked for 2 months at that company of B&E. And I realized working with steel, it's not really for me.
Right.
And I was earning 700 rand per
After
fortnight.
After so much work.
It was just too much for me. So, but I realized that in that 2 months that actually I was fired because I was not taking instructions. I think that's what happened. I never wanted to go back there. I never wanted to go back.
Okay, so it ended before it even took off. Why? How? Tell us about how your business journey started.
It started from high school. I remember at some point I stole money from my mom, but she didn't know that I actually stole money. And then I went to Metro. There was a shop, a wholesale called Metro. It was registered then. I went and bought a box of PS chocolates, and I used to sell that a lot.
I remember. I used to steal your PSs.
I used to sell that a lot, and I had by the way, I was thinking about it at some point that I had what you call a post book. I don't know, they call it post bank then, but it was not post bank. But they used to have this deposit book that when you save money, they give you a book like to record all your transactions. I had that for myself, and then those things were selling. Like I used to pay for my own trips because my dad never gave me money.
But what did you want money for? I mean,
no, I was so scared to even ask him money because the language of I don't have monies and stuff. But that's when I decided to say, let me rather make money for myself. And I started selling those chocolates, and they had different messages, and I used to take advantage of those messages. Obviously, there's I love you, or whatever. Then I'll just give a woman that and say, that guy wants you. He says, I must give you this, and go and manipulate the other one and say, please. But she said, you must pay for this. And then I used to make money. I know that I used to make money. It was, I don't know how lot was it then, but it was.
But it was a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, and then now when you're in varsity, what are some of the kinds of, because I know now we're going to speak about your insurance business later, but what are some of the type of businesses that you've tried out before?
I've never tried a lot of businesses. In fact, when I post high school, when I was at the tertiary level, my first venture was into the transportation because I used to love transportation dearly, and I tried to make it work, and I think it took longer because of, you must remember that I was not doing this business with any backup, whether financially or non-financially. It was just a matter of the information that I tried to research about the business itself, and then I go and try to knock the doors that I think I would get help. And fortunately, they responded positively. And I did try to become a transport broker then, because of, you remember that when you eventually to the transportation, be it a trucking business, then you need a truck to run the trucking business. I didn't even have a single truck. And then I thought, okay, let me try to be a broker in between. Go and look for my business, and then go and give it to those that did not have, they have equipment, but they can't get into the market and get the market share. Then that's how I used to exchange. Then I ended up trying to make some small fortunes there. And then, but I think till around 2007 to 2009, it was working very well. I was doing freight forwarding with Green Road, as they tried to make me one of their BEE type of support programs, which it really worked until such time when it collapsed because of the certain reasons, which if ever I'm allowed to explain, then I can explain. But transport was really my business. That's the only business that I've tried before insurance. Actually, I've never tried any other ventures besides that.
So, but do you think that had you been born from a different family with much more supportive, maybe from a capital perspective, that part of your business of transportation would have boomed into something else?
Probably, but from the practical sense, I don't think business, it's about where you were born from, whether if ever you're coming from a privileged family, whether they have enough capital to support your business. Because of people, they still fail. With the experience that I've gathered throughout my journey, is that it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter whether you're coming from a privilege. Yes, it can maybe help that far, but it's not going to take you throughout and believe that no, your father or your grandparents or your money at home, it will assist you or bail you out from whatever that your heart desires as far as the business is concerned. What I did is that I tried to make money then, and I did make money without having to blame anyone, be it the bank or be it at home or whatever. I did it my way, and it worked without having to blame anyone.
True. What I've seen is that I think our younger brother Ndiwo probably looks up unto you. I think he doesn't look up to me. I think I must be honest with myself. I think he looks up to you in terms of the business direction. Why is it important? How important is it to start at an early age in the business world?
It really doesn't have an age category whether if you have to start at an early age or at a later stage. It sometimes goes with the luck. Being at the right place at the right time, or being surrounded by people who've been there that they can give you guidance. I didn't have an older brother who can give me guidance. And the other issue is my parents, both of them, my mom and my dad, were never business people, so I didn't get any business support from them. I think it just, that's why I said it happens organically, this thing. The more you love something, the more you want to research about it, the more you feel like you fall in love with it, the more you're going to make it work. Because you must remember that when I dropped out of school, my peers were still at school. And it was not a common thing. It was very unpopular that you can just drop out of school, because all they think is that you're going to do some illegal stuff and all of those type of things. And they don't understand that actually you've managed to see something that they couldn't see.
But what is it that you, because I feel like, hey, Tshifhiwa, like, where do I even start of dropping out of class and say, now I'm going to start business?
Because if ever I was given a chance, I think from high school level, in fact, I realized that I think I was good with numbers, but I was never
not good with this equation numbers.
Yeah, I think if I did, maybe if I did accounting, because what I currently do, it has a lot of numbers. And I think I do well, I perform very well when in that space. But I cannot really say if I was in school, I was going to be an A student in accounting. But I believe that if I didn't do this science, lousy sciences, and I don't think
they are just taking you in a detour.
So I think the whole thing, it started from the level of high school, me choosing the wrong careers. I think that's what actually even motivated me more to believe that, you know what, I don't want to pursue these careers. I don't want to.
No, but with this experience on how life has worked out, how do you plan on bringing up your children so that they don't find themselves being caged into education, yet they're not into it?
I think they won't. I'm a very smart man. I'm a very smart
Listen
man.
to you praising
I'm
yourself.
a very, very smart man. I think with the experience, what I want actually to try to motivate my kids. I think with my son Chene, I always tell him that, do you really like what I'm doing? It doesn't seem like, it seems like he's confused. At some point he feels like it. But I think what I will try to do with them is that I want to create an environment where whatever that they will choose, whether they want to choose to study marketing, whatever, they will just come and find themselves living to fit into whatever that the foundation that I've laid for them. I'm not going to be able to say do business if ever they're not business oriented. Yes.
Okay, and then I want us to move, because when people are looking at people that are succeeding, they think, they've always had it like that. What were some of the failures that you experienced on your business journey, and how did you recover from them?
You don't really fail from the business journey. That's what I'm saying. A definition of a failure, it all depends. Because of some people, they believe that because of the measure failure based on, I tried this business, didn't work out. And you find that maybe they were just too impatient with it. Or what motivated them to be in that industry. I don't know. But throughout my journey, I don't remember at some point where I felt like I failed. That's why I can't really give you an opinion or an answer based on whether I failed or what was the failure then. I always believe that I had some challenges throughout the journey. But if ever I was to use about the word failure, maybe I would be speaking about not managing monies wisely. I think.
Yes.
Yes. But the concepts and the practicality of business, I always know it. I always knew that what I was doing. But maybe the money, when you have the money in the
As
account,
to how
what
to-
do you do with that money?
Yes.
Or how do you grow your business further? Or whatever. But it also that could be influenced by the age. You remember that when you are young, you behave young. And sometimes the experience throughout the journey is that how do you make money works for you? It's like when you're making $1 million and you're expecting a bank consultant to tell you about managing million when they are earning 8,000. You always believe that they can't tell you shit. I mean, you're making $1 million. Why would they
What-
want to tell you about 8,000 when they earn 8,000? That's the mindset then. Until when you grow up and you realize that actually no, they are more informed
Yes.
in that space. Then they can tell me how to manage my $1 million better.
Yes.
Yes.
But what are the control measures that you've put in place now so that you don't find yourself, yeah, I know how to make money, but management is not my strongest point, maybe?
I think I was reasonable enough to surround myself with all types of people, whether be it a criminal, be it an accountant, be it academia. I'm surrounded by a lot of people, and I make sure that whoever that I associate myself with, I have to gather certain information from them. Be our accountants, our auditors, they know me very well. That instead of them telling me about numbers, I actually tell them about numbers. Because when I was at the bank with my banker, I forgot her name, that white lady, she used to tell me a lot about the finances, a lot. And then I think that's when I realized that no, actually, in fact, men should make money, not money should make men. That's what I was told. And since then, I never wanted to fail. And by the way, I think because of when I started my business, I was more surrounded by all these white males, because then there was not this popularity of tenders and stuff and all of those things. I didn't even know about tenders the other way. So they gave me a lot of information, and that's why maybe I grew much faster within the business sector, because of the guidance that they've been giving me throughout the journey. But otherwise, I think it works differently from different individuals. But currently, with the current situation and setups, I have a problem because of I always see younger generation and all those, even the older ones, who enter into the business space, and I always feel like you can't really give people money without giving them education to understand the rand and cents themselves. And then you expect them to manage million. It's very difficult. And it's unfortunate that now the government policies promote such type of things. And that's why you find out that most people, they do get these monies, but at the end of the day, they don't know what to do with these monies. Yes, they end up probably doing whatever that we see on whether it's social media or whatever. But if ever you have to align yourself with the people who actually tried business organically,
Yes.
then you'll understand the rand and cents value before you can get to thousands and millions and all of those things. It starts way at the grassroots level.
How do people then, looking at how social media works, with people posting all sorts of big successes, they look big at the upfront value of it. How does one maintain focus and build their own thing without feeling like a loser whose hustle is not meeting up to the standard?
Considering our history as black people, I think the worst mistake we do a lot, especially as males, I don't know about women because I'm not really close to a lot of women who are doing business, but I've seen with men. I think we always want to be surrounded by people who never tell us the truth. That's why all this mess starts. With me, probably I've been through that also. But part of the journey in the entrepreneurial space, I always believe that it's about learning. It's a progress. It's a process, and the process never stops. And the process is very painful journey because of you lose, you gain friends, you lose money, you lose houses, you lose cars. It's just a process on its own. But the problem is some people, it flushes them out and then they can't come back. Others, they come back based on the influences of their surrounding. Because I always tell people that your associations influences your success.
They do, actually, they do.
People, they can debate it whichever way, but your association influences your success. So, when I set up my business, I always knew that I'm not educated. Yes.
And I think it's a
that's the reality.
Because there's nothing wrong with me not being educated. There's everything wrong with me thinking I'm educated when I'm not educated.
Yes, but I accepted and I've acknowledged that I'm not educated. I think I need people who have left in the classroom to come and assist me. And when they come with whatever knowledge that they have, I have to respect their space. And that's why even when in my working environment, I don't even interfere with what they do because I believe that they are qualified to do such things. But they know that I'm a very smart man. I know exactly what is happening. I educate myself almost every day. That's why I know basic. That's why I always say to business people, get to understand the basic of everything. Be it taxation, be another basic taxations. If ever it's about you're running a business of IT, get to understand the basic IT. You cannot just be someone who's just
heading
invented something and then you want to impose it to the market. And then your employees can take advantage of you if you don't understand. If ever human resource, understand the basic human resource principle.
True.
That's what I do.
That's very true. I want us to go into your now organization, Channel Holdings. Take us through as to why insurance. How did you get into insurance to even start off?
As I was doing the business of freight forwarding, I remember I had a contract with Green Road to transport explosives. I think they were going to Xinjiang, somewhere in China. And the Green Road loved me. I will say, it's a corporate company. They loved me then. And then they gave me one of great contracts. It was a very, very lucrative contract to do freight forwarding. I perform rail through Transnet because I had a rail account with Transnet. Then obviously I handle their containers from the customer. Actually, they used to call it end-to-end. From the customer, which to them customer they refer to their supplier.
Yes.
And then the other customer is the receiver.
Yes.
But they call them customers. Then what happened is that with those containers in 2010, I remember it was 2010 because we were going through a World Cup era. Then Green Road asked me to handle one of their explosive containers, which were, I think they were 50, but they were very, very dangerous explosives because they were used in mining sector. And then one of the containers, I think that was the last one, out of 50, 49 were taken through the terminal successfully. The last one, but we concluded that it was an organized crime because only me and the Green Road and the driver of the truck knew what was in the container. But one of the conditions was that the container has to be escorted, which we violated that clause. We didn't escort them because we concluded that no one knows except 3 of us. Then the last container, the truck delayed to get to the terminal. Terminal closed at 6 and they don't accept any other thing, any other commodity inside after 6. And I think the driver got delayed because of the owner of the truck also knew when we found out later that actually they wanted to sell the goods. And then they parked the truck outside the terminal and I asked them to say, okay, park it where the camera could actually see what is happening. Then they didn't do that. Then the container was broken and then they stole the whole goods. And then in the morning I received a call from Green Road to say there's a problem here. And then I received a call from SAPS and intelligence. There were so many people because they also suspected me that probably I knew.
But how old are you with all these things happening?
I was in 2010, I don't know. I just know I'm 40 now. You can minus. I think
Okay,
I was
28 around
somewhere
there.
there. Yes. Then I had to arrange to make statements and what happened and all of those things. And then I lost the customer, which is Green Road. Green Road lost their customer, which is in China. So it was chain of reaction. And then my insurer was Mutual and Federal then, when it still existed. It doesn't exist anymore. And then when I lodged the claim, they refused to pay my claim. And the claim was so big, it actually exceeded the amount that I invoiced the client. So basically then I was bankrupt immediately. Then the contract was cancelled.
At 27,
then I decided when I was sitting, I
bankrupt.
remember I had offices at Transnet in Parktown, and then I decided to say, you know what, actually I want to start insurance. I think that's what it started. That's what the whole thing started.
That's what.
Then I went to start to inquire about how to go about it, and then I had to do it.
And then how long did it take for your business to have clients, to become stable, such that you can say, I run an insurance business?
Very, very difficult. I don't want to lie. I really don't want to lie. At that time when I started insurance, I didn't even understand that. Insurance actually taught me, that's why I love finance sector. because of it taught me the nitty-gritties of actually how money works. Because those guys, they talk about 80 rands and 100. I didn't know then when I went there. And then when they explained to me how the revenue works, and I feel like, hey, this is going to take me long to make even a 10,000. Considering that you have to make 20 rands and 80 rands as your gross profits and stuff, and there's still VAT involved. And then, okay, I applied for a license. The registrar explained to me to say, you know what, you must have worked in the insurance industry for 2 years, and you must write a board exam and all of those type of things, which I didn't have. But I said to the registrar, I don't want to work in the insurance. I want to run an insurance. That's what I want. You can't tell me about the exams that I don't want to write. Then I insisted a lot. Then she started to show me the processes to bypass other issues, to say, okay, this is how you can do it. Then you're going to grant you a license. And then I went and started the process. And then with the assistance of Teba Bank, then I think now it's UBank, they assisted me a lot, those guys, through their compliance officer. Then I got my license. Then after I got my license, it didn't work immediately, obviously, because of money. I didn't have money to start, and things are not going well for me financially. And I felt like, you know what, as long as I have a license, let me try to gather myself and see. But through making good relationships with people, I am where I am today, simply because of that. I remember at some stage, I was driving my father's Mercedes Benz that he gave me, and after such a big battle for him to give me that car, we fought a lot. So
I emphasize you were naughty.
So what happened is that I got the money. I can't even remember how I got that money, but it was not a lot of money. I think it was 20,000 or something. And I was going to Macro to buy myself a laptop and a desk and start doing my insurance work. Then I received a phone call from this lady called Viola Mtabuchi. I will never forget Viola. She knows. She's still working for Santam. That one she knows. She played a major role in my life. Then when I was there, that's when I believe that, in fact, before I can continue with this journey, I always tell people that you can't make money when you're faithless. You can't make money when you're faithless. Because what keeps you going is the faith. Because you believe in something that you can't see or you can't touch, but you believe that it will happen. And it's exactly what I did. So when I was at Macro, Viola called me and said, Tshifhiwa, where are you? I said, I'm at Macro, I want to buy a computer. Viola. He said, Tshifhiwa, don't buy anything. Come to Santam in Mainland immediately. He said, Viola, but I'm already in the queue. He said, leave everything there in the trolley and then come to Santam. I want you. When I got there, and then Viola told me that, you know what, there's a company that the directors are fighting, and it's not complying, and the people, they may lose their jobs and all of those type of things. In fact, I recommended you to take over that company.
Just like that? Just like that.
I said, well, I don't even have a cent. I can't even buy the shares of that. He said, with 0 rand, you don't need money.
Imagine.
You don't need money. Just go then and knock, and then they will tell them that you are Tshifhiwa. The rest will happen. Then when I got there, and then I found the directors there, and then I called in. I said, my name is Tshifhiwa. And then I remember that one of the directors, they said, oh, you're new boss. And then that's how I was introduced. And everything changed. By the way, I remember that when I told my mom, she felt like, because, hey, we're not Shaya, we might probably have, you know, you're a smooth operator. Because it's something that I always believe that, you know, certain miracles, when they happen in one's life, you always think like, this thing you can't share them with anyone who's a non-believer. They will believe that, no, you're creating all of these fictions. There's nothing like that. It happened exactly like that. In fact, I even offered those directors money and said, I'm going to pay them throughout the year on premiums. And I did that. Then that's how my journey started. And actually, I never started by selling one policy, like one policy to my dad. And I found everything in place, employees and everything else in place.
Oh Lord, and can that miracle happen?
Yes, that's why it's only for the chosen few, by the way.
I listen to you.
It's only for the chosen few. So, because most people, that's why I'm saying, but you have to go through the process. The process is just too painful.
Yeah, and I think I want to understand your state of mind before this call, because you're saying that you had no money, you had probably 20,000 rand, but even before you had the 20,000, you're probably going through a dark phase.
A big one.
What was happening in your state of mind at that period?
You know, let me say, when I started losing money from the green room, I remember I had properties that I bought, and then I started not paying those properties. I fought with Absa Bank. I think if you ever people, they can go to Google, they'll still find that case, if ever still there. If you Google Tshifhiwa Muhanganei, you're going to find Tshifhiwa Muhanganei versus Absa. Because of, I always say to people, if you've never been bankrupt and been gazetted, then you'd never ever tried business. You can't tell us about business.
Should have never.
Because of people, they go through a lot when they lose money. Some of them, that's why I'm saying they're going back to work. I can't even go back to work. I don't even have experience then. But I remember I told my then, my ex-wife, Lerato, I said, I think you must go and look for a job because of this is going to be a tough time for me. And I don't want to fight this battle with anyone. I want to be alone. And then just go and get a job and then get a place to stay and look after our son. I'll also try my best on my side, but I want to fight this battle alone. And then all I took was my Bible and my clothes and put them in the boot of my Mercedes-Benz. And then I was sleeping in the filling stations. It was very, that time it was not nice, but when I explain into it now, I always think
but
like it was
tell me, because I'm
fun.
thinking, when you are sleeping in filling stations and your parents work, like what does that do to your spirit?
At that time, it was
Yes.
bad. I don't want to lie. It was bad because it's a very painful journey. But I always believe that everything happens for a reason because of... I had a choice of going back home. And my father, he tried to say, hey, this person thinks are worse. He must just come back home. In fact, because of it, they didn't even see me probably to be where I am right now. But it happens. It's fine. Because if ever maybe saw me otherwise, probably I won't be having to be where I am today. I don't know. Maybe the way he
I always say that's
looked
why
at things maybe motivated me in a way, I don't know. Directly or indirectly, I just don't know. But sleeping at the filling stations, it's actually a very painful process that one has to go through. You must remember, there's winter. The car doesn't even have a heater. And that time, but what actually motivated me was, if I ever get 10 rand and I want to put it into my business, I will just do that without having to think about my son and my wife or whoever then. By the way, she was still my girlfriend. I'll just say my ex-wife. Unfortunately, Rato. It happened. Shit
Yeah.
happens, you see. But it was about myself. Tshifhiwa, you must make this thing work. That's what I had in mind. It didn't matter. But I'll tell you that it took me 6 months rather than it has to take me maybe many years because of I had to be selfish that time to say, you know what, this is about you. Put yourself first. Make sure that this thing work. How, I didn't know. But all I remember is that I was sleeping in the car. I didn't have a place to stay. My clothes was all over the place.
yeah, I
The
think
rest is history. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I can't really relate to the feeling then.
Yes.
That's because of the feeling of then, it's not the feeling of now. So I'll be exaggerating and try to make people feel like, hey, it's so bad. No.
But
I don't know. I can't remember then.
How has that contributed into your leadership skills now and human relations?
I think leadership skill, it's also a process because of through associations of people. I've always associated myself with successful people in a way. And I was very fortunate I was always loved by these people who are successful in their own right. And because I used to force things. I remember if there's anyone that I can't say I have met, except maybe few white people, then I'll be lying. Because I've tried every other person. That all those successful people, if ever you define success by popularity, then so be it. Then I've tried those people also. And from seeing what they were doing, because I always had this mind in my mind that I wanted a corporate business. I didn't want to just do a business because of myself. I want to buy a car and stuff. I've bought cars at a very young age, by the way. So, and that time it was not even popular. So that's why I'm saying it was way beyond that for me. I wanted to do business that will last, but how, I didn't know. I was frustrated more because of I'm not getting to the business that will last.
Yes.
And make sure that my people are taken care of. Because all I saw, it was myself entering a huge building. I'm the boss, I'm the CEO, I'm running a business in the corporate level. I'm surrounded by the advisors. That's what I always had in mind. That's what I think that kept me going. That's why even when I got the money, I didn't feel like it's adequate.
Yes.
Because of there's still
It was
this
not
big
what you
dream that I
were,
want to
yes.
achieve. So whatever that I get, I feel like it's not enough. So, which means I can't even go out and say I've got 200,000 now. Let me be excited. Because of it was not adequate. It was so inadequate for me to can say I've achieved what I wanted to achieve. But yes, I could have achieved maybe to buy myself designer clothing and stuff. But it was not really the biggest motivation for me. I always believe that I wanted to make the business that will last. Even now, I still believe that I want to make the business that will last.
And then how far are you in your journey in achieving that dream?
I will say the struggle continues. The problem is I'm waiting for that one customer. You know, I always say in life changes in 24 hours. But in the process, we just have to make sure that we capacitate ourselves enough with all the departments, with all divisions, with all the networks that we believe that we need. Because of, we're just waiting for that one phone call. And it will happen, that one phone call. Because it also goes with maturity. I always tell, okay, Ndibuo, he always says to me, hey, so bought this and this and that. I said, but that's the problem. You define success based on the tangible goods.
Yes.
It cannot be a success to me. Because of there are people who have been making money. I don't even know their companies. I don't even know what they do. You understand? And they're all over the place. I don't like those popcorns that are just popping in the machine. So you don't want that type of industry.
It's not a
setup.
business.
It's not a business for me. The business for me is when you have to go through a journey with that. When you are being asked a question like now, this interview, you are able to explain actually where are you coming from
we got
and how did you get
here.
Yes, but if ever you can be successful today and then when we ask you just say, hey, it was through hard work. You are lying because of hard work will never take you anywhere. In fact, the driver who's driving a train, he's doing the hard work. That's a labor. He was supposed to be more successful than I.
Very true.
It's just a matter of that phone call.
One phone call that
to change the whole scenario. Yes. That's why even when the employees, like I always have a meeting with the employees to say, if my own employees can understand my own mission and vision, what do you expect me to make money? Because of this, people didn't even understand. If ever they didn't owe West Bank and the APSAS and stuff, they wouldn't be coming to my work. They come in because of their commitment with somebody else, not with me. That's why I'm saying they can't even understand my mission and vision. So why do you expect them to take you to where you want to go? Even as much as you can try to tell them, people, they only believe the final product.
Yes.
Now, when you're with me here, you're interviewing me here, every other person will believe that I started today. But I existed yesterday.
Yes.
Just because the TV crew decided to come and talk to me
you
does not necessarily mean that I didn't exist before.
Yes.
I existed before. But nobody cares about that.
Yes.
People cares about the man that they see in the screen
thing.
now and believe that hey, he's doing very well. He was interviewed on TV and stuff and all of those things.
Yeah. I want you to, we're out of time. There are a lot, I want you to speak to men particularly. There are men that they are going through dark phases financially, probably because they're trying their luck in business and things are not going well. I want you to speak a word of life so that they can also not give up and put in the last step that might change their lives.
Association again. I'm going to repeat this thing of association because most of us, men and women, I know, influence comes from the association. It's not like they do not have the right concept or it's not like they're not at the right place. But the problem sometimes the partnership that they form, that we form, really played a major role, whether it breaks you or it makes you. If you are in a partnership of intimate relationship or a friendship, whatever way, that also plays a major role. Because I've noticed that most, especially men, when you start to, I'm not going to talk for women and I'm not trying to be a chauvinist or something, but I'm just talking about for men. I believe that if I'm in a relationship, I'm talking about through living experience.
Yes.
You don't find a partner who supports you, no matter how much vision you have, no matter how relevant your vision is. It may take you 10 years instead of taking you 3 years. So it's not like it's the wrong vision or you're in the wrong path. No. It's because of the surrounding itself.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying it's not easy to diagnose, but it's easy for me to can tell you that when you're alone, you move much faster than when you're somebody else.
Very true.
And it's what I've realized with my associates. They're in the same setup and they can't come out because they signed the agreement that I want this person. Now, they have to fight two battles. The other one doesn't buy into their vision. They believe that the vision is too big for them or it's never going to even happen and all of those things. So smaller things take them so long to achieve. Whereas since I decided to cut the cord, I cut the cord because I didn't have a choice. I cut the cord and decided to move on my own.
When you are
I progress much faster because I don't consult anyone. I just take
decide right here and it moves.
Yes. Okay. But not to say my woman, she was not a smart woman.
No, we're just saying it's a general concept. Yes. When you don't consider other people in your decision making, it's just yourself, you move much more faster. We are out of time. I want you to complete this in one word. Power is?
Money.
Black excellence is?
Is there such thing called black excellence?
Is there?
It's not excellence, it's excellence.
What is excellence?
I didn't believe that there's a white excellence and black
Is it?
excellence. Yeah, I didn't want to believe in that.
But I still believe in it. Because, I mean, we are coming into so many industries and we come with money as what is at the back of our minds. But when we receive a good service from a fellow black brother or who is outdoing other people that had platters laid out for them, we can probably term it as it's black excellence.
Maybe to me it was going to be an excellence. I don't want to.
You compete. You see yourself competing and equal.
That's why even now
with any race.
Yeah, I don't really care, because what a service that is required from me is a service that is required from me. I have to make sure that I deliver the service. If ever it's a matter of principle and morals, morals that not have color, whether you are white or you're black. You just have to have high level of morals and then and ethics. Okay. So if you don't have those two, even white people, you can still find them lacking in those areas.
Yes.
So even black people. So the moment we try to racialize it, I feel like we always expect black people to
go an extra mile.
Whereas when we get the same from white people, we feel like it's justified.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
The last one, you're gonna put in a word. I am because
I am this successful because of His grace, the Right Reverend.
Amen. We are at the end of our interview. I hope you enjoyed it.
It was too short, but anyway, thank you.
You have no sense of gratitude, man. Well, I hope you guys at home enjoyed the show. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.